Hello and welcome to the Formula Racing League. This is the Super Sunday F1 Championship. The penultimate round of the season takes us to the Shanghai International Circuit in China. And what a venue and what a place it is, of which Formula 1 hasn't raced at either this year or the last, due to what's been happening with the COVID-19 pandemic. But even that doesn't stop us from using the track on the F1 2021 game, which is actually the first race that we are about to do under this new game title, as will the last race of the season in Mexico in a week's time. It seems as though that everyone has now switched over to F1 2021 to ensure we have a full grid. Everyone is in for tonight. So we're going to go for the full qualifying session. It appears to be that we have 18 drivers involved. Thus, we will lose the slowest 3 drivers at the end of Q1. Then the next 5 at the end of Q2 before the top 10 shootout. So we're just waiting for some cars to make their way out onto the circuit. So just looking at the grid actually, in terms of who's not in. So Rune, who would be in the AlphaTauri, he's replaced by Killer J. At Haas, we've got Terades and Pimis, who are in for Rizzlesticks and Santi. At Williams, Wild Dog is replaced by Arkid. Call me Arkid, that is. And that is it as far as I know. You see they're right on board with the Haas of Pimis, who's out onto the circuit now. An opportunity to acclimatise to the circuit itself. This is the first opportunity for the cars to, or for the drivers I should say, to get used to the mechanics of the game. You can see Robbie in the Red Bull, Big Boss Bells in the Aston Martin. You see him coming through turn 6. We'll go back to Pimis, who's just coming around to start his first flying lap of the session. This is Q1, so he won't want to be pushing too hard. In terms of performance, all the cars are equal to each other. What can Pimis produce on this lap here? And Terades has decided to opt out of this session, so he won't be setting the time. So he will be not going through to Q2. Pimis though, as he also turns 9 and 10. Been told the race is wet to dry, so it'll be another interesting spanner into the mix for the drivers. From what I've seen in terms of the gameplay, we can see Pimis just get the power down too early there, and that's his lap over for that one. There's Jack DNF, who's on the back straight now. Update the audio settings a little bit. And Jack DNF crosses over the line to post a 1:31.5. And we've got Miman Muzi, who's next up, posting a 32.7 in the Red Bull. Holmes will cross over the line to post a 52.9, though that'll be because of his spin. Scenario next to cross over the line, and he goes second with that lap. Jay Hartnell over the line in fourth. So the driver, it's in the last turn. I've just seen 3 cars that have the number 2 on their machine. Mielios is not going to be setting a lap either. He's crashed out actually on the exit of turn 10. So Mielios in the Alpine, not going any further. His Big Boss Bells crossing over the line. This is not a competitive time really for him. This Plymouth's just going past Big Boss Bells. Killer J, who won't want to be holding him up too much. And this does come round. And there's a Red Bull to the side of the circuit. It's Mima Moody. I think it was just getting out of the way of other drivers. So we know 2 drivers who are not going through to Q2. Mielios and Terades. Who's that? Let's just start. That's Comi Arkid. It's just getting out of the way of other drivers, actually. And Mima Moody's just wrecked his front wing there by the looks of things. Who's coming down the back straight. And Killer J up ahead. Killer J does cross over the line, posts a 34.6. And Leppy is also on a fast lap in the Alfa Romeo. He just ideally needs to get into Q2 here. Leppy posting a 1:32.5. And he goes quickest with that. Oh, someone going through the polystyrene boards there. That'll be Killer J. Here's Call Me Arcade. It's just coming into Sector 3 now. Call Me Arcade is one of a number of drivers to yet to post a time. Bar going fastest on a 1:30.4. Tommy Arcade is next. It's a 1:31.7. His lap has been invalidated. Lucky Buff on a flying lap as well. Here's Robbie. The Liverpool fan further around the circuit is on a fast lap. Liverpool fan going up to 7th of his lap time. 1:31.8. And Robbie will be next up. He's backed out of this lap actually. And Killer J goes in front of Jay Hartland with that run. And 7 minutes to go in Q1. Bar fastest at this moment of time. Dixon occupies 16th position, which would be enough to see him drop out of Q1. Jay Hartnell in the Ferrari coming round. And he goes up to 8th with that one, so 32-1 for him. Dixon has finally started a fine lap in the Mercedes. So 6 minutes remaining. Touring bar fastest by half a second over Night Shadow. So 51-0 in Sector 2 for Dixon. The man has already clinched the title a few rounds ago at Silverstone. Dixon entering the last turn of the lap. It's going to be a 1:30.5. He goes up to 2nd position. So only Robbie's yet to press the lap now, out of the drivers who are still running in this session. Big Boss Bales will be thinking about going for another run with the lap time he's set. As will Killer J. So Robbie entering Sector 1. So 24-1 for him. Nearly dropping it actually on the exit of turn 10. He's around about half a second away from where Dixon is, so Robbie on course probably for a low 31, which would put him 4th fastest. He's still got the back straight and a few more corners to negotiate. And Scenario has crashed out. So Scenario has crashed out in the McLaren on the exit of what looks like turn 6. Not sure how he's managed to do that, but either way, his session is over. But Big Boss Bells is still in the drop zone in 16th place because his time is slower than Scenario's. Robbie has crossed over the line to go 4th on a 31.2. So Big Boss Bells needs to get out of the pit lane as soon as he can, or he will be eliminated from qualifying. Now Big Boss Bells is making his way out now. Got just over 2 minutes to get over the line. Oh, Jack spins it on his outlap. There's Pimis, who is 8th on a 31.8. He's looking to improve his time here. And it's a 31.0. It goes 4th with that. It's a very nice time there for Pimis. Miman Moody not improving with that effort there. Killer J is improving on his previous best. He dropped it on the exit of turn 13. Into the hairpin he comes. That's in the hairpin. Over the line, it's a 32.3. He improves by nearly 8 tenths from what he had set before, and he goes up to 12th. And there's Big Boss Bells who spun there for the exit of turn 13. Now, has he got enough time? Yeah, he's got enough time. So he can't afford any mistakes here. Well, Miman Moody is on a fast lap. Killer J's going for another run as well. Miman Moody in the Red Bull. And Leppy not improving on his effort. So looking at Killer J's time in Sector 2. 4 tenths up from where he set before. Miman Moody over the line and no improvement for him. So it's either Big Boss Bells or Lucky Boff. They'll be joining Scenario, Mielios and Terades on the sidelines at the end of this session. Because Lucky Boff is in the pits. Big Boss Bells is on a flying lap now. There's the AlphaTauri getting out of the way. Big Boss Bells looking to improve on his unrepresentative time. It's hard to tell whether he's going quicker than before. Well, he is going quicker than before, but in terms of where he is in comparison to the competition is another matter. DRS Open on the Aston Martin as he comes towards the hairpin. There's the Alfa Romeo of Luffy who's spun into the wall. So Big Boss Bells, a 1:32.8 is what he needs to be. Oh, he caught the curve heavily. What's his time over the line? It's a 32.1 and he gets through into Q2. So with that, Lucky Boff is eliminated from qualifying. Because although Scenario has already dropped out because he crashed out on circuit, Lucky Boff, his time is slower than Scenario, so I mean, Scenario would have ended up 14th in that session. But because he's crashed out, he won't be able to take any further part in qualifying. So we have our 4 eliminated drivers. They are Scenario, Luckyboff, Mielios and Terades, who will drop out at the end of Q1. So confirmation of those who are eliminated at the end of Q1. As soon as I'm able to scroll down. Either way, the drivers eliminated are Scenario, Luckyboff, Mielios, Luckyboff, Scenario, and Terades, who are out of qualifying. The top 14 go through to Q2. Oh, that explains it then. There you go, there's confirmation of your drivers who are out of qualifying. We'll be back in a moment. Q2 is underway then. Who will prevail in the session? Is anyone brave enough to make it into Q3 on the medium compound? Well, Jack is going to go on to a set of softs to begin with. So Jack determined to get into Q3 here. Runs wide on the exit turn 13. Now Jack, oh, he's lost it. He's gone through the polystyrene board there, and yeah, that'll cost him some time at the beginning of this lap for sure. Carrying too much speed there into turn 1. You see there's one of the Red Bulls going offline to leave Jack room to get through. No problem then. So, oh, he's lost it! Jack has lost it. He's spun into the runoff area. Yeah, I think he may as well back out on that run there. There's Pimis in the house, who doesn't appear to have any issues so far on this one. Is coming around to turn 11. Through turn 12, fine. Lines the car up for turn 13, or the exit of turn 13 onto the back straight. Here we go then, entering the last turn. Goes onto the start finish straight to post a 1 minute 31.1. For fun, second on a 32.7. Lappy posting a 32.2. Oh, there's a spin there for Killer J. Oh, that wasn't too much damage there for him. Jay Harmer going up to third on the mediums. Dixon nearly losing it as well. Two Boswells goes to the top of the timing pages on a 30.7. I think Dixon lost time on the last lap he's posted, and Killer J spins into the gravel trap. And driver posting the time as well. On the arcade. Entering the hairpin. And post a 1:32.3 to go fourth. Really need to go out again to do a run on the softs to make sure he gets into Q3. Find out soon enough. Schoenbar is out on circuit now in the McLaren. So Schoenbar aiming for a good time here. Going to get in front of the likes of Conley Arcade, Leppy and Liverpool Fan. And Schoenbar spins actually. So Schoenbar has spun on the exit of the hairpin. Dixon going off the track there. Oh, he's pushed too hard. He's exceeded track limits as well. Here's Liverpool Fan. He's coming back into the pit lane. Night Shadow and Mean Man Moody are out on circuit though. Night Shadow started his fine lap. So Night Shadow looking to get into the top 10 here with this one. Night Shadow entering the hairpin. So 131.1 for him. He goes third with that. Mima Moody's next up. Providing he keeps the car pointing in the right direction, which he does so. Next in turn 13, which has caught a few drivers out so far. So Mima Moody, what can he do in the remainder of this lap? He will post a 1 minute 32.2, which is good enough for 4th position. Schoenbar out on a set of mediums. Now, as far as I know, the race is starting. Wait, the race is expected to start as a wet one before it gets dry later. So if that's the case, then whether you decide to start on the wet tyres or the dry tyres, or saying on the wet tyres at the beginning or intermediates, the dry compound rule doesn't even apply. Schoenbar just needs to get a clean lap in here. So 51.7 by sector 2. Schoenbar entering the last turn now. And it's a 1 minute 31.4, goes 4th with that. So as it stands, Robbie, Dixon, the driver, and Jack make up the drop zone. And the driver goes 10th with the lap he's just set on the mediums. Now Dixon, the champion of the Super Sunday F1 series in the Formula Racing League. He just wants to make sure he is in Q3. And someone's gone off at turn 8. It's one of the AlphaTauris who's in there. And it's Killer J who's gone off. I think Liverpool fan's just gone up to 5th at the time he's just set. And less than 2.5 minutes remaining. And Night Shadow has retired from the session, but he is 3rd. He's retired in the pit lane, so he'll still be able to compete in Q3 should he be in that. Dixon over the line to post a 1 minute 30.6. Goes to the top of the timing pages with that one. Schoenbar's latest lap has been invalidated. The driver's pushed into the drop zone now. Can't quite get out of it on that lap. So almost certain he is going to be out of qualifying. Jay Harnell goes up to 7th. That pushes Colmiar Kid into the drop zone. But he's just posted a better time to go up to 2nd place in the Williams. Now Leppy's in the drop zone in 11th. What we do know for certain is that Robbie, who's currently stuck in the pits, he's out of qualifying. Leppy's lap time over half a second faster than what he had set before. Very much on course and getting back into the top 10. If he wants to improve his position, Mimran Moody will be out of qualifying because he's stuck in the pits right now. So Leppy round in the last turn. Over the line he comes. He goes up to 7th. So Mimran Moody is out of qualifying. Here's the driver. Currently in 12th position. Looking to improve on the mediums. I'm not sure if he's on that fast of a lap, if I'm honest with you. No, he's gone into the pit lane. So he's out of qualifying, as is Jack, because he has spun off on his final attempt. So it's Mimran Moody, the driver, Robbie, and Jack, who are eliminated at the end of Q2. Now, the only driver to get through on the mediums is Turenbart in 8th place. So we'll be back for the final results in a moment. So confirmation of those who are eliminated at the end of Q2, Mimran Moody, the driver, Robbie and Jack will take no further part. We'll be back for the pole position shootout in a minute or so. We are ready for Q3 then, who will take pole position here for the penultimate round of the season. You can just see Dixon making his way out. So 7 drivers out on circuit already. Made that 8 because Pimis has joined them. Call Me Arcade and Liverpool Fan are stuck in the pits. And Call Me Arcade is out on circuit now. So 9 drivers are out on track. Night Shadow beginning his lap now. So Night Show with a 51.3 by sector 2. In terms of the favourites going for pole position here, we're expecting Dixon and Schuenbart, 2 of which going for it. Night Shadow over the line, posting a 30.9. That's not too bad actually from him. Got the Mercedes of Dixon posting a 30.5. And we've got an AlphaTauri over the line. That's Killjoy of 33.6, but he's posted that on the medium compound. Schuenbart goes to the top of the pages on a 130.4. So he's top of the timesheets by a 1/10 of a second so far. Big Boss Bells has made a mistake on his run actually, so that'll be him back into the pit lane, as is Leppy. On the Arcade is on a flying lap though. Pimis goes 3rd fastest on a 130.9. Goes marginally in front of Night Shadow. And Killer J has crashed out on circuit actually. Or he stopped on circuit, so he will not be posting another time in this session. Tommy Arcade goes up to 3rd with his lap, his first time lap of this session. 4/10 away from pole. Oh, and Pumis spins. Clicking the curb on the exit there of turn 13. That's how careful you've got to be riding the curves on F1 2021. Big Buzz Bells will be making his way back into the pit lane soon, as are the other drivers. Liverpool fan finally coming out on circuit. He's probably just going to go for the one-time lap in Q3. Just 2 cars out on circuit now. Liverpool fan is one of them. Leppy, who's on a in-lap, is the other. Well, he may be doing a fast lap, actually. He has got some fuel on board in that Alfa Romeo. It's 51.6 in Sector 2. I was sliding a little bit there on the exit of turn 11. Over the line he comes. Leppy posts a 1:31.2, only good enough for 6th fastest. Liverpool fan is coming around to start his fine. Leppy just needs to be careful, riding the curbs. I was going to say be careful of those coming out of the pit lane. Decides to carry on anyhow. We won't want to be making too many mistakes like that. He's already lost a lot of time thanks to that spin. So 2 and bar fastest by a 1/10 of a second over Dixon. Komiarkid is 3rd, ahead of Pimis, Night Shadow, Leppy, Jay Hartnell in 7th. .52.1 in Sector 2 for the Aston Martin driver. As Big Boss Bells warms up his tyres, preparing for his last run. Bar, Dixon and Komiarkid waiting in the pits. Night Shadow's lost it. Night Shadow has lost it on the exit of turn 8, or entering turn 8, and his session is over, so he won't be any higher than 5th on the grid. He's a Liverpool fan. He'll be looking to at least get in front of his teammate and Killer Jay with this time. He does so. He even goes in front of Jay Hartnell with that. So had it not been for that spin, he may have been up a few more places with that. So Big Boss Bells into turn 6 he goes. His earlier time was an unrepresentative one thanks to a spin or a mistake somewhere. He's going for pole. He needs to be in the mid-50s at least. I don't think he's going to be in that range, to be honest with you, by Sector 2. It's a 51.0. Power down nicely. On to the back straight. There's no cars in front of him who could potentially impede him, so he's got a free run to the line. So Big Boss Bells onto the pit straight, over the line. It's a 1:30.5. He goes 3rd with that time, so it's a good effort that from Big Boss Bells. Liverpool fan deciding to go for another run here. He may have improved his time with this one. It's a 1:30.7. He goes 4th. Brilliant effort there from Liverpool fan. Despite having to do an extra lap on those soft tyres, he's put out a blinder. Excellent stuff. Pimis's lap time has been invalidated. Jay Hartnell going 9th. Well, he's just started his final flying lap. So we've got Turenbach, Dixon, who will be crossing over the line shortly to start their final runs. And Jay Hartnell nearly 3/10 up from his previous best by Sector 1. Leppy in 8th is nearly 6/10 away from him. So he's got a lot of time to find on this run here. There's Jay. So he enters turn 9 and then 10. This short back straight which takes you towards turn 11. And it's half a second up by Sector 2. As it stands, he'd probably go in front of Leppy, providing Jay Hartnell can keep up with his pace. Oh, he can't do it. He spins. He spins on the exit of turn 13, goes into the barrier, and that is his session over. Now, Call Me Our Kid is trying to improve on his lap. We'll go to Turenbach because this is the fight for pole position now. Dixon's found 300ths from what he found before in Sector 2. Turenbach's second sector time is a 50.7. Dixon's is a 50.9, so Turenbach is 2/10 up on Dixon by this point. So Turenbach exiting turn 14 through 15. So right-hand kink is 15. Then turn 16, which takes you onto the pit straight. Turenbach over the line, and he improves to a 29.9. So Turenbach on provisional pole position, unless Dixon can find any more time on this lap, and he seems to have backed out of it. So Turenbach is on pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix, with Dixon alongside in second, and it's the two Aston Martins of Big Boss Bowles and Liverpool making up the second row. Call Me Our Kid and Pimis are on row 3, with Nitro and Leppy next to each other on the 4th row. Jay Hartnell and Killer J round out your top 10. So your top 10 at the end of that, Turenbach fastest out of Dixon with Big Boss Bowles, Liverpool on row 2. Call Me Our Kid and Pimis on next, with Nitro and Leppy on the 4th row. Jay Hartnell and Killer J round out your top 10. The race is expected to be wet to begin with before it gets dry, so this is a race you don't want to miss. Do not go anywhere. So we're just waiting for the drivers to complete their race and fuel strategies, and then this race will begin very, very shortly. Apparently, we are 15 seconds away from the formation lap, so this is an opportunity for the drivers to explore the conditions. This could be their first time driving in the wet on F1 2021. And let's say that all the drivers are starting on intermediate tyres. So Turenbach leading the field on the formation lap. Dixon, we're hoping to master in these conditions. This will be valuable experience for the drivers to get a feel of the conditions. So we're moments away from the start of the penultimate round of the F1 Racing Championship. In terms of the race for the title, that had been decided a few rounds ago, with Dixon completely dominating the championship, it has to be said. The battle for second is already decided because Santi, despite being 29 points behind him with 2 races remaining, he isn't competing tonight. Statisticking also not involved, so that opens the door for Night Shadow and Liverpool fan to leapfrog him. But remember, the point system in the Formula Racing League for the Super Sunday series is the same as real life Formula 1, as opposed to Formula Racing League's own point scoring system. Just seeing the drivers are quite some way behind the top 3. Trying to get as much temperature into their tyres as can. And there's Scenario, who's gone for a spin on the exit of turn 11 by the looks of things. Sky's car turned around onto the pit straight. Jay Hartnell and Killer J had collided on the formation lap, and Big Boss Wells has gone for a spin in the Aston Martin. And Call Me Our Kid has also gone for a spin in the Williams. And now the drivers return to their grid spots, ready for this 28-lap Chinese Grand Prix on the Shanghai International Circuit. You can hear the rain pouring down. Who will be singing in the rain at the end of this one? Just waiting for Lockipov to get into position in the Mercedes. And then we wait those 5 red lights to come on any moment now. Here we go then. Tune bar on the right, Dixon on the left. The 5 red lights appear, look, but never steer. It's lights out and away we go. And it seems though Tune bar got off the line too early by the looks of things. And we've already got a spinner because, we've got one of the Ferraris out already. That is Jay Hartnell, who has spun. And that's his race over already. And we've got a safety car only seconds into the race. And the safety car has already picked up the leader. But there's plenty of drivers who have picked up time penalties already. And Turnbull will have to take a drive-through at the end of this one. I think someone else got a drive-through for jumping the start. 3 drivers have done. Night Shadow's got a drive-through. Jack's got a drive-through. Killer J, Robbie have got 10 seconds time penalty. Big Boss Bells, Call Me Our Kid, and Lucky Boff have got 5-second time penalties. So Turnbull's race has already taken a turn for the worse, because now he'll have to take that drive-through after the safety car has gone back in. Here's Dixon in 2nd position. Big Boss Bells is 3rd. Call Me Our Kid in 4th place. The Bullfan in 5th head of Pimis. It's Night Shadow head of Leppy. The driver and Scenario round out your top 10. So Race has done very well to get up to 11th, actually, avoiding all the chaos. But Jay Hartnell's race is over before it even begun. So Turnbull leads behind the safety car with Dixon behind him in 2nd place. And I think someone else picks up another penalty in all that. It might have been... I was just thinking it might have been Night Shadow or someone. We'll find out soon enough anyway. The safety car is remaining out there. So we've got a few drivers in the pit lane already now. Both AlphaTauris into the pits. And looks like Call Me Our Kid is having to stop in his box. And Jack holds up his teammate who has to wait behind before the crew can service him. Imam Moody also coming in to get a front wing replaced. Lucky Boff as well. Killer J serving some of his time penalty in the pits. If he goes, he rejoins right at the back of the field, but at least he can catch up to the rest of the field. There's Robbie behind the safety car. He's been given another 5 seconds of time penalty for a collision under the safety car. I think he made contact with Therese actually. Therese's car is being controlled by the AI at the moment. And the safety car will be staying out there for another lap. It does say we're on lap 3, but it is lap 2 of the race. And it's time the cars come around to the start finish straight. It will be the beginning of lap 3. So Night Shadow entering the pits. I know he's got that drive-through, but he won't be able to serve that under the safety car. He might have a time penalty of another sort that he'll need to take. He's needed a new front wing anyhow. Imam Moody getting a time penalty as well for a collision with Jack behind the safety car. Killer J back in the pits for a new front wing again, unless he's serving the rest of his time penalty under the safety car. Now, how soon or how far can Turenbar take his tyres before he'll need to come in to put dries on? The track is expected to dry out before the race is over. The safety car is coming in at the end of this lap, which will give Turenbar the opportunity to dictate the pace and go when he is ready to do so. Comial could gain a time penalty as well for a collision with Elios. It's penalties galore in this one. Safety car is in the pit lane now, and Turenbar decides to go. So earlier he's gone there. Well, he's run wide there at the hairpin, and that allows Dixon to close in on the McLaren. But he can't overtake until the start-finish line. And And away they go. Turenbach leads on the restart. But he does have that drive-through penalty, of which he'll need to take at some point. And Jack is out of the race. He's hit someone, and he goes no further. Will that lead to a virtual safety car or a full safety car? With that car lying there. Looks as though that Night Shadow is back in the pits. Has he had contact with someone? Not 100% sure. Oh, it's the service drive-through, that explains it. So Night Shadow gets his drive-through out of the way. Further behind as Robbie gets in front of Mielios for over 10. Oh, the contact! Contact between the two. On the exit of turn 6, Robbie's car is damaged. I think Mielios' car must be damaged as well in the Alpine. Yeah, his front wing has taken a knock. He'll be back in the pits soon. Dixon right behind the McLaren of Turenbach in the battle for the lead here. Oh, we've got a safety car now. Yeah, I think the leftover debris has contributed to a safety car. Now those who have taken their drive-throughs, they can count themselves lucky. If you're Turenbach, you probably feel not so lucky because the field has bunched up again, or will be bunching up again. Not even had a full lap of green flag conditions. There's Leppy in 7 header scenario. Had a trade, a Mean Man Moody. There's Killer J in 14th place. Lucky Boff in 15th. And Night Shadow right at the back after serving that drive-through a moment or so ago. And there's Mielios and Robbie coming into the pits to get new front wings fitted on. Robbie has a 15-second time penalty. Now I want to see how much of that actually gets served in this pit stop, because I know in previous F1 games on Codemasters they would only allow you to take a certain amount of time penalty in a pit stop at any one time when you come into the pit lane. It seems like Robbie only served 5 seconds of it. He's come out on a set of mediums. Surely that's too early. Well, Mielios doesn't think so. But Lucky Boff decides that he needs another set of intermediates. Oh, and Robbie's off. Robbie's hit the barrier as he's exited the pit lane. And he's out of the race as well. So Robbie goes no further in this one. So more drama in this race added. Mielios is skating his way through turn 6. That's not too bad of an entry through there, but he needs to stay off the damp patches. You need to stay off the damp patches, mate. So Mielios struggling in the conditions. Scenario spun this time. So Scenario has spun under the safety car. Who has he come together with there? I'm not quite sure who it was. It might have been Leppy, you know. But he's fallen down to 12th position. This is disastrous now for Turenbach, because if the safety car is coming in and the track is getting drier and drier, in fact it's coming in now to get a set of probably hard tyres on. I don't know what compound he's going to go on, to be honest with you. He's very much spoilt for choice with the conditions as they are right now. It's a set of hard tyres. Scenario also coming in, presumably to get that front wing changed. And so the mechanics go to work. Scenario serving some of his time penalty as well. He'll rejoin behind Lucky Boff, who's coming down the start finish straight now on his intermediates. So Turenbar through all that is in 12th place on his hard tyres. Maybe slipped inside him, but he will still catch up to the back of the field, providing he makes no more mistakes, of course. So Dixon is your new race leader. Big Boss Bells is second, Liverpool Fan third. Pimis ahead of the driver, Leppy is sixth. Mimar Moody ahead of Colmy Arkid in 7th place. Colmy Arkid, oh, it's contact! Khalil J hits the back of Colmy Arkid, and he may be penalised for that. He's just running too close to him. It's as simple as that. That'll be him back into the pits for sure. And the safety car's in at the end of this lap. So Dixon's got a decision to make as to when he's going to decide to go here, and when he's going to be choosing to pit for dry tyres. Dixon entering the hairpin now. Scenario, and Lucky Boss joining him, and Dixon is coming into the pits to change tyres. Now Big Boss Bells has decided to stay out on his intermediates. Most of everyone is heading into the pit lane. Mimar Mood decides to stay out though. It's pit stops galore right now, and Colmy Arcade gets a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Turenbar holding third ahead of Mielios, with Scenario in 5th. Turenbar will be in the pits for a drive-through penalty very shortly. But Dixon did get out in front of Liverpool Fan, which is crucial for his race. Oh, there's nearly contact there between Mimar and Turenbar, but Turenbar gets to up into 2nd position now, while Mimar Moody is struggling on his intermediates. Surely the time is right now to be coming into the pits for dry tyres. And we've got another safety car. Now what's happened this time? Has anyone left debris? Not sure. Now did Night Shadow make it with a mistake on the pit exit, I wonder? His car is intact. Just looking to see who's got damage to their car. I can't quite see what the reason is behind this third safety car period. So Big Boss Bells comes into the pits for dry tyres. May have timed this one perfectly, actually. Mimar Moody also in. And Big Boss Bell serving some of his time penalty, or all of his time penalty, under the safety car. And out he goes. Where will he rejoin? I think he'll rejoin in 5th, actually. Yep, he's out in 5th ahead of his teammate. So the Aston Martin drivers are still 2nd and 3rd effectively. Although Mielios and Scenario have already pitted for dries, so they're effectively the leaders, because Turenbar is going to have to pit in at the end of this lap, because he's already crossed the line twice under green flag conditions, so he's got to pit in to serve his drive-through penalty at the end of this lap. With the number of safety cars we have had in this one, this could end up going to a timed race if we end up getting any more safety cars like this. So the safety car's has picked up Turenbart and the leaders. We're now on lap 8, or about to complete lap 8. Comyar Kid, Killer J and Turenbart, the only drivers with penalties at the moment. And Killer J almost overtaking Lucky Buff there. And Killer J getting a time penalty now for a collision with Night Shadow. So your race order: Turenbart in the lead with Scenario second, Mielios in third, Dixon fourth, Big Boss Bells fifth, then it's Liverpool Fan, Comyar Kid, Pimis, the driver, and Mima Moody, your top 10. And the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. Hopefully this will be the last safety car period in this race. So Turenbart decides to go now by the looks of things, and he's caught his teammate napping actually. Now Turenbart will have to take his drive-through penalty at the end of this lap. So this is very much damage limitation time for Turenbart. Unless he's able to do another lap. As he is. Oh, it's a spinner! Scenario spun in the background there. Don't know if there's anyone else involved, but Scenario has spun from second place. That's really bad news for him after doing so well. I know he's fallen to the back of the field there, but I just hope we do not get another safety car with the debris lying around. Liverpool Fan also spins at turn 2. A crazy start already for the drivers on this safety car restart. Scenario's got going again at last. Turenbart in the lead at the moment with Mielios in second place. He's on the soft compound though, so we should expect him to be pitting again before this race is over. Scenario has spun again, this time at turn 3. Now Turenbart out in front, and we've got another safety car. This is the 4th safety car we've had. And by the standards of the Formula Racing League, this is terrible. And Melio's is coming into the pits to change tyres. Is that his teammate coming in as well? No, it's Colmy Arcade. I'm getting confused between the Alpine and the Williams colour logos or colour schemes on the graphic. And Leffy is out of the race. He's not prepared to go any further in this one. And Schoenbauer has still got his drive-through penalty to take, which he can't do at the moment. Scenario entering the pits now. Killer Jake also out of the race. He's decided to not go any further. So this is the 4th safety car period, and we're only on lap 11. I think with the way this race is going, some of the drivers feel that they just do not want to compete in this race anymore, which is understandable. So we've got 13 drivers still circulating around the circuit. So Schoenbauer will be thinking about what to do at this point, because by the time he does take his drive-through penalty, he'll be at the back of the field. I wonder how long the safety car is going to remain out there for. I want to get some proper racing done. In this scenario, he's continuing to catch up to the back of the pack. And the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So Schoenbauer will once again decide when to go here. And I think someone has spun out, actually. It's Luckyboff. Luckyboff has gone for a spin in the Mercedes, but he's continued. So we've got 16 laps to go at the end of this one. And Schoenbauer decides to go now. Now, please, let's not have another safety car between now and the checkered flag. With Truenbar leading the field. Oh, we've got a spinner though. It's the Aston Martin of Big Boss Bowles. And he's lost his front wing there. The field trying to avoid him. Pushing too hard on the restart there. Big Boss Bowles, he's lost it. I hope that leftover debris is not enough to trigger a 5th safety car. Otherwise, this could well see a lot of drivers calling it quits if we do get another one here. We've not had a full lap of racing. So Truenbar leads on the restart. Remember, he does have that drive-through penalty that he needs to take. So Truenbar in the lead, with Dixon 1.6 seconds behind him. Let's see if there's any action going on further behind. Oh, we've got another safety car now. It's a 5th safety car. I don't know if this is a glitch in the game, but this is getting very much ridiculous now. Yet another safety car. And I think, considering the circumstances, I'm not even sure that championship points are going to be dished out to drivers after this one. This is an absolute farce. Even from a commentator's point of view, it's an absolute farce. Dixon going into the pits, and from what I've been told, he's had enough. And I don't blame him. I really do not blame him at all. And Big Boss Bowles also coming in for a change of nose, but he's binned it in the barrier. And Big Boss Bowles, well, deliberately crashing out there. I mean, normally you're not supposed to do that, but I think by his feelings of how this race has gone, you can tell that he doesn't want to quit. Well, he didn't want to continue off that. And Pimis running wide onto the grass there. So we're down to just 11 runners in this one. Truenbar still leading the pack and still needing to take that drive-through penalty. And Pimis coming and saying this has to be a bug, right? I'd like to think it is. I think this is something that Codemasters are going to very much need to have a look at, because I doubt that this will be, that I very much doubt that this is the only race where we've seen so many safety cars being deployed in a short period of time. I mean, to be fair, Big Boss Bowles did bin it on the restart, which cost him his front wing, but he still kept going. That could explain why we're on the safety car conditions again. I really cannot see this race going on for much longer, if I'm honest with you. Because if we get another safety car period after this, more and more drivers are just going to leave. There's no question. And Truenbar has retired from the session now as well. He's clearly had enough. Lockybov going into the pit lane, as is Scenario. I would assume that they've had enough as well. Yep, so Lockybov out of the race, not willing to continue. I think Scenario is also going to call it quits. So this hands the driver the lead. So Scenario rejoins in 9th position. And Liverpool fan Emilio's are still running. Another driver. And the safety car is in at the end of this lap. Will we finally get some racing back on the way here? So 9 cars left in the running here. How many more of them are willing, or how many of them are willing to go to the checkered flag? If we get another safety car, I think the rest will just retire, if I'm honest with you. I really, really do. And the only driver that has a penalty in this race is Comiar Kid, who's in 8th. So the driver still not gone yet. We are underway on the restart. No incidents so far. There's Pimis going past Milios, whose car is controlled by the AI at the moment. Likewise with Liverpool fan. Suarez gets a time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Now it's around towards it's towards the end of the second sector of the lap is when the safety cars have been deployed. Instant sector 2, this time it's Pimis who's gone round. No damage done. Team's on his way though. No safety car at the moment. So let's say the drivers are going to have... Oh, there's a spinner! Mima Moody is spun round in the Red Bull. Mima Moody's left the session, but his car is not retired yet. So Pimis trying to find his way back. I think only 5 of the cars left in the race are controlled by human players. So driver crossing over the line. Still in the lead with Night Shadow 2nd, Colmiar Kid 3rd, Scenario 4th. And soon to be Pimis in 5th place. You can see that. Is the driver going to take victory here? Well, even if he does, I'm not sure if the stewards will class this as a championship race, if I'm honest with you. He may not reward drivers any points. At least the drivers can get some practice in some laps on the game for all the races to come. The driver posting a new fastest up of the race, 1 minute 34.5. DRS is now enabled. Night Shadow closing in on the driver ahead. And Perez over the line in 5th place. It's closing in on a scenario actually. The gap is 3.7 seconds. There's an incident in sector 2 now as well. Perez has had a moment. He's kept going though. And the gap is less than a second between the driver and Night Shadow ahead. Night Shadow posting a new fastest up 1:34.3 for him. And from what I've been told by Pimis, who is one of the drivers involved in the game, or involved in the race, I should say, the race has been cancelled due to game glitches. So whatever happens tonight, no championship points will be awarded to any of the drivers. So this is not a problem that is entirely to blame on the FRL, the Formula Racing League. This is more to do with a glitch than it is. So for that reason, the race has been cancelled. The race is red flagged, the race is cancelled, and no driver is going to be rewarded points from this one. We'll stay with the likes of the driver, Night Shadow, Komiarkid and Scenario to see what they decide to do. And Night Shadow's gone for a spin on the back straight. I think he's going to call it quits, to be honest with you. He knows the news. Well, Night Shadow, sorry, the driver continues on, as is Komiarkid. No Scenario in 3rd place. I think Night Shadow is going to come into the pits and retire, to be honest with you. He knows the gig is up. Not all by himself, of course. It's a decision taken by the FRL. So he comes in. So we're down to just 3 drivers in the race now. And the driver spins into the barrier and is out of the race. So the driver will take no further part in the session. He knows the gig is up anyway. So that leaves Komiarkid and Scenario left. Now, what will Colmy Arcade and Scenario decide to do here? They carry on as they are. So if you have just joined us and thinking, boy, so many drivers have retired in this race, what's happened? Well, what's happened is we've had 5 safety car periods in the opening half of this one, and we believe, or the FOL believe, that it's due to game glitches. So for that reason, this race has been cancelled. It's been red flagged. We were just seeing it out to see what the other drivers, Colmy Arcade and Scenario, decide to do here. There's 6 more laps to go. And Scenario, if he can close to within a 5-second gap, he would win out over Colmy Arcade. I don't know if Colmy Arcade and Scenario are aware of the situation. So 4 laps remaining. Colmy Arcade's gap is 6.3 seconds. That would be enough. That would be enough for him to see out a victory, which will feel like it's not because of all the unusual circumstances that's taken place here tonight in the Formula Racing League. And someone has gone wide at turn 10. That will be Scenario. Not sure if he's deciding to carry on, to be honest with you. He has been on the mediums for 9 laps. And Scenario decides to carry on. Through Scenario spin, Colmy Arcade is very much guaranteed the victory now. Colmy Arcade coming around to start the penultimate lap now. And Scenario has slowed down on the last lap. Not sure if he's picked up a puncher or whatever. The Comiar Kid is on the last lap now. He'll cross over the line to take a victory which he'll feel wasn't deserved. I think this has turned more into a practice session rather than a race itself. The Comiar Kid entering the hairpin now. Into turn 16, the last turn. Onto the pit straight. Comiar Kid crosses the line to win the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai. Although he won't feel this is a win. This was a race that turned out to be a farce for all the drivers involved. Scenario will cross the line second. And he's the last of the finishers out of the human players who have stayed until the very end. Melios will cross the line third, although that car was driven by the AI in the last part of it. Then it's Liverpool fan, Night Shadow, Therese and Mean Man Moody, the rest of the finishers, out of all those from the AI. So here's your race result then at the end of what's been a very tough race, I'd say, for all the drivers. Comiar Kid is your winner with Scenario second, and that's all that needs to be said. So no championship points will be awarded to any driver after this one. We do apologise for the difficulties of this race, and we hope we don't get a repeat of it anytime soon. There's still one more round to go in the Super Sunday F1 Championship, which will be in Mexico City in a week's time, and hopefully the glitches will have been fixed, or the problems that Codemasters have with this game will be fixed by then. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.